It's a beautiful, chilly day here. My name is Martha Soipan, and like always, welcome back and feel at home. This is a home full of love, peace, unity. All we talk about is encouraging one another, loving one another, showing love, support, emotionally support, financially support. We make sure that even when you come in here, if you have a mental health, by the time you're leaving my channel, you feel at least and lifted up, your spirit is lifted and you feel comfortable. Now, the rate of death of our young children in the society, especially this year, has really made me think so much and has made me worried. I'm sure wherever you are, all of you are tired of the rate of how our young children are dying in and out every day. Now, my question to you is this: have we thought of what is happening, or have we thought or why all these deaths are coming? Who can be the cause? I think it's high time we start asking God. We stop asking God, why is this happening? Why so early? We have put a lot of blames to God, not forgetting that most of these deaths can also be caused by our own selves, especially parents. One, domestic violence have made our children feel homeless. Domestic violence have made our children feel that they are the cause of the domestic violence going on in our families. We fight before our children. We argue before our children. We call each other names before our children. And what does that lead to? Our children feel frustrated. They feel maybe if they leave us, we're going to have peace. And the first thing that comes across their mind is suicidal. They've killed themselves because they want to see their parents live peacefully. Number two, our children, today we have assumed that everything they know, they have read in the internet, we don't have time to sit down with them and talk to them. Our children have entered into the digital world. And I don't blame them, because all of us, the way things are going right now, we are not in the analog world again, we're in the digital world. But as much as we have bought gadgets, we have given our children the freedom to get into the internet section, the digital world. We have forgotten that they're still our children, they're still under us. It is high time we sit down with them before they get into a relationship. Tell them the advantages and disadvantages of this relationship. Others have gotten themselves into relationships that are not healthy, and those relationships also have led them to early death. If we listen every day, even if you open today the newspaper where they post or they print the departed souls, most departed souls there are young age. If you visit our morgue, most departed souls in the morgue lying there are our young children. Even in the Bible, it is already written that a child should not be buried by their parent. It is the child to bury their parents. But today, parents are burying our children. Why? Because we have just ignored everything. We don't want to sit down with them. We don't want to tell them the truth. We don't want to bring them to the right path. We have forgotten how we were brought. I remember, because I was brought up by my grandmother. If any time I would have been sent to the shop, I don't think I would have even spent more than 3 minutes. An extra 3 minutes, I'll have an explanation to say, where did I stop? Who was I talking to? If by any chance even my neighbor will see me with a boy talking along the road, before it gets to my mother or my grandmother, the neighbor would have beaten me on the spot and cautioned me. But today, if your neighbor cautions your child, you're the first person to go and attack your neighbor. So what is the result of that? We get early pregnancy. And because you want to hide the pregnancy, because you're that woman, mimi ni mama wa kanisa, I'm the elder in the church, people recognize me as a big woman. I have raised my children the way they're supposed to be. What do? You take your daughter, you take them to abortion, and through abortion, what happens? They die in the process. So who are you going to blame? Are you going to blame the boy that impregnated your child, or you're going to blame yourself? And you'll be the first person to cry. And you'll not even write in the eulogy the truth. Our children have also gotten themselves into relationships that are toxic. They're getting into relationship with narcissists and sadists. And later on, what happened? Because they don't want to burden you, because they have no one to listen to, because even by the time they were going there, they were either looking for love or affection, because they never got it in the home. And what leads to all that? After being with the narcissist, being with a sadist, they feel they are not wanted, they feel they are not in the right place. And what does their mind tell them? Their mind tells them, let me end myself. I think I'll be at peace. And they die. And we are losing our generation. Who will be our leaders tomorrow? Who will stand with us? The other day I went to Kangemi, and I was going to give back to the community. And in my mind, I knew I'm going to visit women who maybe they needed food, they needed pampers for their kids. But to my shock, I met young mothers between 16 to 18 years. And when I was interacting with them, and one day I'm going to bring them, when I was interacting with them, you would hear them saying, I lacked this at home, yet mom and dad were there. And I got what I wanted from this person. But later, what has it landed me to? I have a baby. And where is the baby father? Immediately I got a baby, he ran away. Why? And all this, they're blaming the parents. I have a mother, I have a father, but they never listened to me. They never gave me a hearing ear. They never gave me the love that I needed. They never supported me. So I think it is high time we stop asking God, why is this happening to us? I leave this work to you as parents, including me. I am a mother. Let's go back to the roots. Let's bring our children the way we were brought. Let's caution them. A child will never be big enough than you. Whether he's 30 and you're 40 or you're 50, that child is still your child. And as a parent, you have every right to make them sit down and listen to you and talk to them and put some sense in them. And as you put some sense in them, also give them an ear. Let them speak out. Let them tell you, Mom, this is what we are lacking. Dad, this is what we want. Dad and Mom, we are tired of your fights. Even if you have fights, take them away. Don't bring them to us, because every time we fight, we feel like we are the cause of your fights. And that is why whatever we are doing because of this and this. Because we feel like if we move out, when you guys will stop fighting. When you move out, you guys will stop insulting each other. And I know by that if we do all this, we are going to minimize, we are going to reduce the rate of us losing our children, the rate of our children giving birth at an early age, the rate of our children running from homes, and all the time we are at the media looking for our children. We don't know where our children went, yet we are the cause. So we are the cause. And the truth must be told. The truth must be told. 90% of what is happening to our children, it is us parents that have caused it. It is not the society. It is not the generation. Nowadays, everybody an assignment. Me Gen Z, Alpha. What is Alpha in Gen Z? During our time, there was still Gen Z and Alpha, it's just that we didn't know. But all these were not happening. But today, it's either a 22-year child being married, at 23, at 24, at 25, at 30, Why? Why? Are we so busy that we don't have time to listen to our kids? Are we so busy that we don't have time to sit down? You as a mother, one Sunday afternoon after church, take your daughters, go somewhere, have lunch, sit down with them, let them speak out their mind. Let them tell you, hey, mom, I have a boyfriend. I want to meet your boyfriend. I want to know what kind of a man you're dating. Have an open talk with your daughter. Don't always command your daughter to an extent that she grows knowing that she fears her mom. Don't command your son in a way that anakuwa growing knowing very well, I fear my dad. I cannot tell my dad this. And that is why you see young boys going to experiment things outside because they don't have a father figure who is very open or who is very transparent to sit with them and talk to them about what is happening or the changes that they are experiencing in their body. And they end up messing their life at a younger age. Why? Because they want to experience, because they don't have someone to guide them on what to do. And those experiences have led them to sickness that are causing early death. For what? Yet you as a father, you're there. Ikifika Friday, you just want to know, where are the boys? I need to go drink. Today there's a match. You don't even have time for your son. And I don't think those boys and those clubs are very important than your son. Women, I don't think those charmers are so important than that your daughter. It is high time. Let's go back to our roots. Sit down and ask yourself, when was the last time I had a talk with my daughter? When was the last time I had a talk with my son? When was the last time I just switched off my phone and I decided today is my time with my children? We work in the house, we play, we do our cleaning as we talk, engage them in a conversation that by the end of whatever you are doing in the house, everybody will have spoken out. Get to know what does my daughter loves my son. And I'm sure today most parents, if you ask them, what does your son likes? They don't know. What does your daughter likes? They don't know. Why? Ask my house manager, ask my house girl. The same house girl you ask them, the same house girl are the first people they start experimenting things with. And that is why you're saying all these things are happening. There are things coming out in our society that we are not ready for them. But by the time you realize your daughter or your son has already involved themselves, it is hard for you to even convince them that whatever culture you're in or whatever you're doing is not good come out. It is too late because they are already in there. Why? Because you are never there. You are never there. Most of you is just a phone call. What do you want? Okay, I'll bring it. They come. Once they open the door, they have their dinner straight to their bedroom. In the morning, I've left everything in until they've gone to work. You don't even have time for your daughter or your son. So tomorrow, don't blame anybody else. Don't blame yourself. When all this comes, when your daughter brings your child, be ready to raise that child. And don't scold your daughter that day. Because by the time you scold your daughter, ask yourself, your mother or your father brought you to an extent you got married. They took care of you until you got married and never brought them a child. So why has your daughter brought her child, or your son brought her child, or your wife at home? Why? Because you have failed as a parent. So it is high time, again, I repeat, let's go back to the roots. Let's bring ourselves back. Let's not become workaholic. Let's not become so busy. Let's create time with our children. Let's create time with our family. Let's embrace our family. And let us all of us learn what our children want, what are the advantages and the disadvantages of their life, whatever challenges they are going through. And as a parent, get to understand what your children want, get to understand what they like, what they don't like, and let them know that in a day or in a week, we always have time with dad and mom at a specific day. They don't pick calls. They don't even encourage visitors to come to our home because it is our time. So even your children will always prepare. Sundays you are saying with dad. So this Sunday I'll ask dad this. This Sunday I'll ask mom this. Or this Sunday I'll tell mom I'm having a boyfriend. Or so and so wrote me such a message. And mom or dad will also help me to understand what this person wants and how I'm going to reply this message. And I'm sure when we do all that, when we embrace all that, tomorrow we will save our generation, we will save our children, we will save our society. God bless and thank you so much.